the Uchiha clan, feared by all in the Naruto universe due to one simple fact, that being the Sharingan, right? So the Sharingan is a ocular Kekkei Genkai, one of the strongest ocular Kekkei Genkai in the series, and throughout the entire series, we kind of get a little inverse thing of it being the most dangerous and scariest thing for anybody that doesn't have a gimmick or is just a normal ninja, right? And let's get into that a little bit, right? So in part one of Naruto, we get the first glimpse of the Sharingan with Kakashi and the Zabuza fight, right? So in Kakashi and Zabuza's fight, it gets broken down to us that it's explained in three ways. First is Nin, which is stealth. Second is Tai, which is body. Third is Gen, which is illusion. The Sharingan is also noted to also be clarity and perception, and can copy body movements and ninjutsu, as it was seen with Kakashi when he copied Zabuza in his fight. Now, as we see, Kakashi is also one of the people that's renowned as Kakashi of the Sharingan. Now, Kakashi was a great ninja, but the Sharingan amplified this majorly and gave him a versatile expansion of a bunch of jutsu, right? And Zabuza kind of expands on the fact that, this is Kakashi, the knower of 1,000 jutsu. And the big issue about this is that built up after that point, we get just a bunch of shit on the Sharingan and why it should just not be fucked with. But first, let's start off really small and talk about the first stage of the Sharingan, also known as the first Tomoe. It still is a significant enough buff, like, it's not a pushover, it's a significant enough buff for Sasuke to go from getting dogged by Haku to then being able to react to his crystal mirrors while defending Naruto simultaneously. So even the first stage can give you quite the boost in speed, to the point where it's like Sasuke went from nothing to now being able to save his friend and fight off Haku at the same time. Now, taking a break from talking about purely the Sharingan, let's skip ahead and go into the narrative about the Sharingan and ways to counter and tactics, right? So, Lady Shio talks about tactics to counter the Sharingan, which there aren't really many. They literally said, and this is me quoting her words: "If you are fighting the Sharingan one on one, run away. Don't fight, don't swing, don't pull out a jutsu, don't weave any hand signs, just run away." Right? Now the big issue with this is that a Sharingan user isn't just gonna let you run away. If you run into a Sharingan user one on one, you are most likely cooked, and that's just what the narrative is in the world of Naruto. You run into the Sharingan one on one, unless you're born with some special power, you are cooked. Even if you're born with a special power, you're probably still cooked, right? So now, if you're it's a 2-on-1, you have a little bit more of a fair chance, right? A 2-on-1, you can either, if your friend gets knocked into a genjutsu, or your partner, you can shake them out, like shake them awake, or agitate their chakra, maybe, or maybe inflict pain to get them out of the genjutsu, which is still a little bit putting you in a difficult situation, since you still have to deal with the Sharingan user right in front of you while trying to wake them up. But the Sharingan users, just in general, it's just explained to us that they're difficult to deal with, and you need by other means to beat them or kill them in any type of way, right? Now, going back to the Sharingan, the reason that they're just so dangerous is that they get better the later the stages come. So 2 Tomoe and 3 Tomoe, you get better reaction speed, and it becomes way more difficult to deal with, because the perception just hits into an entirely different realm, right? A realm that you cannot reach by normal means. Even Orochimaru states that there's no way you could train your entire life and still not be able to pass somebody of the Uchiha clan, especially if they have the Sharingan. And just to name off some of the ridiculous gimmicks you can get just by having the Sharingan, we can start off with reading lips, being able to copy jutsu, and being able to see through any illusion of genjutsu, while also being able to cast crazy illusions themselves. The list goes on, and it gets even more ridiculous while talking about the Uchiha, their true power, which is the Mangekyo Sharingan. Yeah, it gets even more ridiculous to the point where it's like, who's a great example of, you know what? Let's take everybody's favorite, right? Let's take Itachi Uchiha, right? Itachi Uchiha has the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he has two abilities in each of his eye, right? And we'll talk about Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi is probably one of the most broken genjutsu out there. It put Kakashi in the hospital, and it damn near gave Sasuke PTSD for the rest of his life. Um, the Tsukuyomi is able to drive somebody to the brink of insanity with just how insane it can get in the illusion. It's you're practically feeling it, honestly, at that point. Because at that point you can just manipulate their five senses into them feeling that pain. So it gets pretty ridiculous. And then his other eye ability is the Amaterasu, which is still pretty broken. It's black flames that cannot be extinguished by normal means. Jiraiya is able to deal with them by sealing them up, but I'm pretty sure in a fight that would be way more difficult to do just off the bat. This is something Jiraiya did after they fled. Um, so the Amaterasu is pretty hard to deal with unless, like, it gets caught on you and then you just take your clothes off real quick. But besides that, the Amaterasu, if it gets on you, it's GG. It's burning your entire body up to a crisp. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it. Um, Unless, the user that puts it on you decides for whatever reason he wants to take it off. Like Sasuke, for example, is able to do that with Karen. He's able to he accidentally puts the flames on her and then takes it off over time after it starts burning her back up, right? And another great example of the Mangekyo Sharingan's OP abilities is Kakashi and Obito. Obito's Kamui and Kakashi's Kamui is pretty broken. That is something that consists of space-time ninjutsu, right? Obito's Kamui can basically have him suck himself into an alternate, like kind of space pocket, right? Which he can also put people in if he's close enough to them, and he can also phase his body in and out, which is the perfect defense and perfect offense. Kakashi, on the other hand, can use his Kamui in a long range perspective, right? So this is something that he does with Pain, where Pain chucks in with a screw, and Kakashi is able to Kamui it away. He's also able to Kamui objects and people as well, like he does with Datara, right? So Kakashi and Obito's Mangekyo is another really great point of it just being really OP. It's like it's just nothing you can do about it, right? So we get into the last part, and yes, the Mangekyo Sharingan does have one last ability that is universal for anybody that has both their eyes, both of their Mangekyo Sharingan, and that is the Susanoo. The Susanoo is the most broken ultimate defense in the series, even greater than Gaara's defense. The Susanoo has a lot of stages leading up to the perfect Susanoo, which at that point it's just like delete the game, bro. You're not beating anybody with a perfect Susanoo unless you are broken yourself. And to be fair, even without the perfect Susanoo, Madara was still able to wipe out an entire side of a war, and I feel like anybody with a Susanoo would be able to wipe out an entire side of the war just due to the fact of how broken it is and how unstoppable it is to break. Because the Susanoo isn't only just an ultimate defense, it's also really fast and strong. Like Sasuke, when he was using the Mangekyo Sharingan and Susanoo against Danzo, was catching him slipping, was beating on him, was grabbing him. So it's honestly really fast too, right? So the entire point of this video, getting past all of that, was just explaining to everyone and reminding everyone that the Mangekyo Sharingan and the Uchiha in general, actually as a whole, needed to be taken off the map, right? Now, I'm not saying Itachi was right, but Itachi was right. The Uchiha were so dangerous and so filled with hatred, and they were unpredictable that, yeah, they definitely could have overthrown the village. Definitely. I mean, it gets to a point. It just gets to a point. We're getting into little contentious things, but overall, the power of the Susanoo and the Mangekyo Sharingan is a testament to the Uchiha clan of just how unstoppable they were. They were on a generational run in this series at some point. Um, Especially when you get into characters like Obito, Itachi, Madara, even Izuna Uchiha. We don't even know a lot about him, but we know he has a Sharingan. We know he's dangerous, right? So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about today. If you got so far into this video, like, subscribe for more content like this. Gonna try, and I say this every video, I'm gonna try and be consistent. I was sick. I am a lot better now. Other videos will be coming. This was just so I can get back into the swing of things more normally. But I appreciate you guys for watching. I just hit my finger. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.